Hello again, and welcome back. Welcome. We're happy to have you here, whether it's your first time or you're a repeat viewer. Thank you for joining us here. My name is Sherry Marks. I'm the pastor of the Church of the Open Door, First Christian Church of Ukiah, and we're just very happy to have us all together here again today. Before we get into things, I'll make my standard announcement that we do have a brief communion service after the message, and everyone is welcome to partake in that from wherever you are. And all you have to do is have a piece of bread, cookie, a cracker, something like that, anything actually that you have handy, something to drink, and then have them near you so that when we come to that part after the message, then you can partake along with the rest of us. Please join me for a moment of prayer. Blessed One, we thank you for calling us here together today. We thank you for bringing us from wherever we are, whenever we are, to come together in this moment and in this place which is your place. Bless us as we seek to hear your word, to understand your message. Bless us as we seek to come together and learn together. Be with us and guide us in this time together and in this week ahead of us to come. We give you thanks as always. Amen. Our reading for today comes from Exodus chapter 3, verses 13 and 14. When Moses met the burning bush in the wilderness, the voice of God from within the bush spoke to him and sent him to carry a message to the Israelites. And Moses said to God, "If I come to the Israelites and say to them, 'The God of your ancestors has sent me to you,' and they ask me, 'What is his name?' what shall I say to them?" God said to Moses, "I am who I am." He said further, "Thus you shall say to the Israelites, 'I am has sent me to you.'" So here we are. We're still reading our way through the Gospel according to John, trying to figure out and understand the Jesus we meet here. So why did we begin with a reading from Exodus? You'll understand, I hope, as we move along today. The Jesus that we are familiar with from Matthew, Mark, and Luke seems fairly clear to us. Someone who seems more human, someone we can relate to from our own human reference and our own human experience. John's Jesus, however, can seem very distant at times. When he explains himself, it often seems to be more of a lengthy, abstract, philosophical discussion than an actual conversation or description. When he does interact with people, as when he heals someone, there rarely is any sense of actual connection with the person healed. Jesus meets someone with a need, he heals them, then moves on. All very good, but not very personal seeming. It is somewhat ironically when we read the I am statements that John puts in Jesus' mouth that he is most easily understood. These statements are in the form of metaphors, words or phrases that are not literal descriptions, and yet connect us clearly with an idea, a concept, archetypal images that exist deep down in our souls and we all share to some extent. We connect with those images and we see another side of Jesus. There are 7 or 8 of these I ams in John's Gospel, depending on how you count them. They are set apart from simple sentences that describe an action or movement, such as, I am going up the mountain to pray, or I am tired. These are simply statements that describe what is happening, what is being felt at the moment. The ones that we're talking about specifically here today are something different. They're those times when Jesus makes statements describing himself in metaphorical language. These I am statements also always come from Jesus himself. Take this one, for example. I am the bread of life. He who comes to me shall never hunger, and he who believes in me shall never thirst. I am the bread of life. Now, this is not a literal statement. Jesus is not a loaf of bread, although we represent him as such in this part of our service. But when we hunger for something. We hunger for food, but we also often hunger for something deeper, something that gives us reason to be here, something that tells us why we are here and what we should be doing and how we are to be. This is the bread of life, and this is who Jesus tells us he is. Another says, I am the light of the world. He who follows me shall not walk in darkness, but have the light of life. We are, as human people, not comfortable in the dark as such. The dark can contain things we can't see and we can't know about and we can't prepare ourselves for. So we are rather frightened of the dark as a whole, and we seek instead the light that lets us see where we are and what we are doing, who is around us, who is with us. But Jesus says, I am the light of the world. He who follows me shall not walk in darkness, but have the light of life. There is no darkness when we are with Jesus. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. This is fairly self-explanatory. The shepherd cares for his sheep, he protects them, he watches over them. In the words of the 23rd Psalm, he leads them beside the still waters, makes them lie down in green pastures. It is the green pastures that this I am statement conjures up for me. There are times I feel very tired. I feel tired and dried out. In times, for instance, as we're going through right now in our country, where there seems to be so much hatred and so much just not being able to tolerate each other. I yearn to lie down in the green meadow grass and relax. Just let my tensions go. The Good Shepherd takes us where there's food that we need, food in plenty, where there is fresh water, all the things that we need to be able to be at peace in our world. The Good Shepherd leads us there. I am the gate, or some translations say the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved and will go in and out and find pasture. There's that lovely pastoral image again. Jesus says he is the gate, he's the way, the entry into, the one who points the way and leads his people there, through that gate and into that land of freedom and trust and hope. I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, though he may die, he shall live. This is what Jesus said as he called Lazarus forth from his grave. I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, though he may die, he shall live. This is who Jesus is for us. The resurrection and the life that cannot be taken from us. I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. We are told elsewhere that we are shoots off of the true vine. That is who we are. Shoots that rise up from the vine that is the true vine. That's good to know. And lastly, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Now this has been a problematic one at times because people have chosen to interpret it as saying that we can't get to God except through Jesus. There is no other way. And they think that that means we can't get to God except through the Church of Jesus. And that is not what it says. It says simply that Jesus is the way for us. The way for all of us. Jesus is the love and the hope and the courage and the caring that is our only way to reach that point ourselves. And whether it is through Christian faith or some other faith that follows the same way that Jesus leads, it is Jesus who leads us there. Jesus who is the truth. Jesus who is the life and shows us the life and the truth and is the way. And we come to the Father because we are shown this way. And so, back to our reading from Exodus at the beginning today. John's Hebrew readers would surely be familiar with this story, the calling of Moses, from one of the earliest books of the Hebrew Scriptures. And they would get the connection being made here. The connection that got Jesus in so much trouble with the religious authorities. The connection of himself with the I am of the Old Testament. Indeed, the oneness of Jesus with his Father. This is what brought him to his death. Not because that was necessary particularly for us, but because those who held their positions of power in being the holders of the truth, could not stand to think that someone else might be that holder of truth. And so Jesus was sought after and punished and died because he claimed to be at one with his Father. And it was his Father who said so. Jesus is, Jesus was, Jesus will always be the Word of his Father, the one who has the right to do all decision making around this planet, this earth, because his Father gives it to him. The one who lives at oneness with his Father. Thanks be to God. Jesus tells us in one of the I ams here that I just read that he is the bread of life. And we see a small version of that bread of life here in this bread that we break and that we share together whenever we come together. This is the bread that Jesus took when he had his friends and followers gathered around him to share their last meal together. And this is the bread he broke when he said, "This bread is my body, broken and given to you." This bread is the Father's promise to never leave his people, never be gone from them. And I am the seal on that promise, because I will never be gone from you. I will never turn my face against you. This bread is my body, and as it is broken, so will I be broken one day for you. But this is myself, and I give it to you all, to share together. And Jesus took the cup and he said, "This cup is my blood," the seal again on that covenant promise. My blood poured out and given for you all. So we take the bread and break it and eat. And we take the cup and we share it and drink. And as we do so, Jesus is in us, with us, part of us forever. He is his Father in us, with us forever. So as we eat this bread and as we drink from this cup, we share it with each other, those here present and those present in other form with us, those all over the world who share this communion. And then as we go forth, we carry that promise from God with us and in us. We carry Jesus within us and in us. And we carry the love and the hope that we are promised, always with us. So go out from here today and take with you the bread and cup that you've been given to share here. Take the word that you've been given. Take them out and share them with the world around you. Take them out and carry them with you wherever you go and with whomever you come in contact. For we are all the beloved of God. Thank you. Go in peace. May the love of God be with you always. Amen.
Founded on love, welcome and hope, we're the Church of the Open Door. You are welcome here. We invite you in. When